He can marry anyone. Choice is his. Who are we to object?
It is never and never okay for adult man to hunt down a child for his sexual desire. When someone turns up to you and then states that their uncle, who is 112 years old, wants to marry your 13-year-old daughter, your answer must be no. And then second thing you do is call 999. Make sure he is in jail. It is never acceptable for adult man to hunt down a child for his sexual desire. This is not new Romeo and Juliet. This is not even Vogue version of Romeo and Juliet, let alone Muhammad and Aisha version of the story. This is not love at the first sign. This is child abuse. It has no place in our society. There is an even term for it. When adult man hunts down a child for his sexual desire, we call it pedophilia. Make sure they don't get to your daughters. But since we live in 21st century and there is ideology becomes more untouchable, as well as their scholars, now Zakir Naik simply justifies for us how it is okay for 112-year-old man to marry 13 years old and have sex with her.
112 years old guy got married to this 13-year-old girl.
You can marry a woman the moment she gets matured. If she reaches puberty, you can marry. That is Islam. For a man, the moment he reaches puberty till he dies, he can marry anyone. Choice is his. Who are we to object? He is willing and the woman is willing. But the man is 112 years old. Medical science tells us even a man of 112 years can procreate. No, he wants to marry a 13-year-old girl who has reached puberty. What is your problem? If a woman of 13 years old finds a virtuous man of 112 years, I would prefer. If I know he's virtuous, I would not mind giving my daughter. If I know that he's a virtuous man and will see to it that he takes my daughter to Jannah, I would not mind.
Well, I don't want to be the heartbreaking here and then pause the video, but according to him, when the girl starts bleeding, she's ready for marriage. I remember there are some Muslims who simply disagree with that by bringing our attention to Quran.
Chapter 65, verse 4. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us who you can divorce and who you cannot divorce. وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِدْنَ, and the ones who had never been pubescent before. Actually it says lam yahid. They never had puberty before. You can't go around that. The Quran doesn't say anywhere in the Quran that the woman has to be pubescent. So if you're a Quran alone, you're allowed to have sexual intercourse with 5-year-olds. Get me one verse in the Quran which says the woman has to be pubescent.
So while we are reminded by part-time stripper, Quran doesn't give age limit, therefore you can have sex with 5-year-old child who is not even bleeding yet. I would love to draw attention to Dr. Zakir Naik, who simply says, actually no, when she starts bleeding. Well, it is very normal. Sometimes part-time strippers and doctors disagree. Both sides is very dangerous for humanity. Child who is not bleeding is not ready for sex. Child who just start bleeding is not ready for sex either. That is still child abuse. 13 years old girl, child when she start bleeding, that doesn't mean she is ready for marriage. That doesn't mean she is ready for sex. Don't fall into that. So I'll let Zakir Naik and Muhammad Hijab to figure that out. Which version is Islamic? Doesn't matter which version is Islamic. Both versions are very dangerous for our children and for our future.
112 years old guy got married to this 13-year-old girl.
You can marry a woman the moment she gets matured. If she reaches puberty, you can marry. That is Islam. For a man, the moment he reaches puberty till he dies, he can marry anyone. Choice is his. Who are we to object? He is willing and the woman is willing. But the man is 112 years old. Medical science tells us even a man of 112 years can procreate. No, he wants to marry a 13-year-old girl who has reached puberty. What is your problem? If a woman of 13 years old finds a virtuous man of 112 years, I would prefer. If I know he's virtuous, I would not mind giving my daughter. If I know that he's a virtuous man and will see to it that he takes my daughter to Jannah, I would not mind.
Well, who do you think you are? If 112 years old man falls in love with your daughter and your 13 years old child falls in love with him, who do you think you are stopping them? 13 years old child doesn't even know what the harm of sex with a man who is 112 years old. 13 years old child underage can't give consent. 13 years old child doesn't even know very basics. 13 years old child wouldn't even know, okay, what is the good character of man or husband. And Zakir Naik is like, who do you think you are? Stepping in and causing problem within their relationships. This bonehead idiot is just like so dangerous for 21st century. He should be in prison, but not sure why he's not in prison at this stage. And not only he's got the title of doctor, but he's also father. He has a daughter and he's willing to give his daughter to a man who is 112 years old so that he can take his daughter to paradise. What a stupid father. Father by default supposed to be loving and protecting their children. Clearly Zakir Naik doesn't know that. Oh well, he learned from his prophet. His prophet had the same characters. So what we have here? We have a Muslim who takes the platform and then speaks to all these men audience. Look at the audience, they are all men. He's speaking to them and he's saying, adult man who is 112 years old, it's okay for him to have sexual relationship with a child who is only 13 years old. He's saying that to this crowd. And when this crowd goes out, they will be faithfully following what their scholars tells. Children and kids in that area are not safe at that stage. I just wanted to draw attention to that. He's simply saying being pedophile is okay. Nothing wrong with it. Adult man is coming after your child for his sexual desire and everything is wrong about that. So he's speaking to this audience. All of them are men. They will go out and then practice what he's saying. And then what does he do when he's got mixed congregation? Well, here's the recent clip which was put on Zakir Naik's Twitter page. He's very proud of his answers and his treatment, so he put the video on his Twitter page. Let's get our attention. There is a woman, Muslim woman, who is very much concerned what is happening in her society, which is very much Islamic society, and give our attention to Zakir Naik, how he's gonna handle or how he's gonna treat her.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. मेरा नाम पलवश है and I'm from Lucky Marwat. And sir, first of all, alhamdulillah and thank you so much कि आपने मौका दिया है क्वेश्चन का. सर मैं जिस जगह से बिलोंग करती हूँ सर वहाँ पे pardon my उर्दू प्लीज, मैं पश्तो स्पीकिंग हूँ सर. तो मैं जहाँ से बिलोंग करती हूँ वहाँ पे सर कंप्लीट इस्लामिक रिलीजियस सोसाइटी है. वहाँ ख़वातीन घर से बाहर बिला ज़रूरत नहीं जाती सर. वहाँ पे औरतें जो हैं वो घरों में रहती हैं एंड मर्द कोई नमाज नहीं कज़ा करते. और हर शब जुमा को जो तबलीग जमात के या जितने भी दावा होते हैं दावत इल्लाह के रास्ते में निकले हुए लोगों का बयान होता है हर शब जुमा को, तो सर वहाँ पे जाते हैं. रिसेंटली एक बहुत बड़ा तबलीग इज्तिमा भी हो गया सर वहाँ पे. और हमारे इलाके में तमाम लोग बहुत रिलीजियस और यानी उनका सोशल कंडक्ट जो है वो भी रिलीजियस बेस पे है. बट सर मेरा क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे ये है कि आपके विस्डम के मद्देनजर यानी अकॉर्डिंग टू यूर विस्डम क्या रीजन हो सकती है कि सर वहाँ पे ड्रग एडिक्शन, एडल्ट्री, पीडोफाइल्स एंड डिफरेंट जैसे सूद और इस तरह के बुराइयां जड़ पा चुकी हैं. एंड सर वहाँ पे जो अच्छा सर एक मुझे आपके बयान के बीच में एक सवाल मेरे माइंड में आया वो भी साथ ही पूछ लेती हूँ.
एक सवाल पूछिए भी.
ओके सर.
और शॉर्ट
सर तो आप रीजन क्या बता सकते हैं कि वहाँ पे सोसाइटी क्यों कोलैप्स हो रही है एंड हमारे उलमा इनको कॉल आउट क्यों नहीं करते स्पेसिफिकली पेडोफाइल्स को?
The area she lives is very Islamic area. Woman cannot go out without the permission of the husband. She expressed that people go to mosque every Friday. She expressed that people are involved with dawah, and then she talks about in that society which is like practicing Islam, everyone is looking like Muslim. There are people who are taking drugs, there are people who are committing adultery, and there are individuals who are pedophiles. She wants to get the wisdom of Zakir Naik.
इनका सवाल है कि उनके माशरे में जहाँ से वो आती है वो खवातीन बहुत इस्लामिक खवातीन हैं, वो घर के बाहर ज़रूरत के बिना बाहर नहीं निकलती। मैं भी घर के बाहर ज़रूरत के बिना नहीं निकलता हूँ, और मर्द को भी घर के बाहर ज़रूरत के बिना नहीं निकलना चाहिए। आगे नहीं, आप निकलते ज़रूरत के बिना बाहर? कोई निकलता है? यहाँ भी नहीं निकलते, माशाअल्लाह।
Great confirmation, yes, in Islam woman cannot leave the house. So he's confirming, yeah, this is Islamic. Great.
आपका सवाल है कि आपके माशरे में माशाअल्लाह बहुत इस्लामिक है, इज्तिमा होता है, लेकिन वहाँ पीडोफाइल, अगर मैं सही सुना हूँ, बहुत कॉमन है।
एग्जैक्टली सर।
और आपने कहा कि जिना भी कॉमन है।
जिना सर अभी होता जा रहा है, बढ़ता जा रहा है, एंड स्पेसिफिकली पीडोफाइल्स जो कि बच्चों को मैनिपुलेट कर लेते हैं और वो फिर उन बच्चों को, वो जब बड़े होते हैं तो अगेन ये साइकिल चलता जा रहा है। सर ये बहुत बड़ा गुनाह है जो वहाँ होता है।
So he getting clarification in the society she lives, which is Islamic society. Increase of pedophilia is problem, as well as adultery, zina is problem. Its clarification has been done. So now Zakir Naik is going to answer it.
बहन जी, आपके कोई सवाल में तकरार है। आप कहते मेरा माशरा इस्लामिक है, फिर बोलते पीडोफाइल है।
सर ये कह रही हूँ कि वही पीडोफाइल मस्जिदों में जाते हैं।
She thinks it's important that Zakir Naik picks up that those pedophiles or those adults who are having sexual desire, sexual relationship with kids, are the individuals who attending the mosques, the place of worship.
बहन, आपने सवाल पूछा, अब जरा आप खामोश रहेंगी? आपने सवाल खत्म हो गया ना? मेरा जवाब सुनना चाहती क्या नहीं आप?
जी सर।
आप सुनना चाहती क्या नहीं?
जी सर।
तो आपका सवाल खत्म। अभी मेरा जवाब सुनिए। आपने जो सवाल किया मेरे हिसाब से कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन है। आपने कहा मेरा माशरा बहुत इस्लामिक है और मेरे माशरे में पीडोफाइल है, दोनों में टकरार है। कोई भी इस्लामिक माहौल में पीडोफाइल हो ही नहीं सकता।
Did you pick that up? Lady's question has contradiction. Why? Because in Islamic society there cannot be pedophiles. What about in the society which Muhammad lived? That was Islamic society. Their prophet is pedophile. But according to Zakir Naik, no, Islamic society and pedophile doesn't go together. Yet previously he was saying it's okay.
The man is 112 years old. Medical science tells us even a man of 112 years can procreate. No, he wants to marry a 13-year-old girl who has reached puberty. What is your problem?
What is changing here? Audience changed. Audience changed. Audience are now male and female. Previously, audience were all male. When audience are all male, it is okay. Now, audience are male and female. Now, in Islamic society, pedophilia is not okay, apparently.
इधर आपका पहला पार्ट गलत है या दूसरा पार्ट? ये मुमकिन ही नहीं है। बहुत इस्लामी को चोरी कर रहा है, मुमकिन ही नहीं है। आपको मानना पड़ेगा आपके सवाल में खता है, पहले बार या दूसरे बार। हाँ क्या नहीं? सिंपल। मेरा माशरा बहुत इस्लामिक है, पीडोफाइल है। पीडोफाइल मतलब बच्चों के साथ जिना करना।
We've got the definition for pedophile. So adult who have sex with a child. Think about it. Who is the best example to humanity who had sex with a child? I am still thinking, if the pedophile is adult who had sex with a child, Muhammad fits the criteria. Yes, Muhammad, Prophet of Islam, peace, police, FBI, child protection, and in this occasion even Israel be upon him, that fits the criteria for pedophile, according to Zakir Naik's definition.
हो ही नहीं सकता। कौन से इस्लामी किताब में लिखा हुआ है? कुरान मजीद में लिखा है? कौन सा चैप्टर है? कौन सा बोलते का पीडोफाइल करना चाहिए?
He's asking for chapter number, Surah 65 verse 4. He's asking for hadith reference, all of the 6 collection of the hadith. Aisha herself states that when she was a child, Muhammad had sex with her. Muhammad was adult. Got the reference. Not sure what happened to his brain. He's identified as a doctor, but seems something is not right with his brain. Even Muhammad Hijab got the reference correct.
Chapter 65, verse 4.
This bonehead idiot doesn't even remember the reference, asking lady to provide reference.
आपको माफी मांगना चाहिए कि आपका सवाल गलत है।
सर मेरा यही सवाल है कि वहाँ पे यही रिलीजियस लोग
बहन जी, आपको पहला कबूल करने पड़ेगा मेरा सवाल। अगर आप कबूल नहीं करेंगे तो मेरा जवाब खत्म।
ओके सर, मेरे सवाल की नौयत गलत है।
नौयत गलत नहीं, सवाल गलत है, आप गलत है। आप ये इल्जाम लगा रहे आपके माशरे पे। पहला कहते इस्लामिक है, फिर कहते पीडोफिलिया। दोनों गलत है। दोनों में से एक तो सही रहेगा या एक गलत रहेगा। ये क्या होता है, आप मीडिया को सुन सुन के रिपीट करते हैं। दोनों तो सही हो ही नहीं सकता है। अगर दोनों सही है तो कुरान में गलती है ना, उस बिल्ला। किधर कुरान में लिखेगा कि बच्चों लोग के साथ जिना करो? तो बहुत से बार ये मीडिया में काम है, इल्जाम लगाओ, सवाल पूछो, कुछ भी दो। आप सारे मजमे में दोहरा रहे हैं। हजारों का मजमा है, 20,000 25,000, और आप ये कह रहे हैं मेरा इस्लामिक माशरा है, फिर कोई पीडोफिलिया है। अने आप इस्लाम पे तोहमत लगा रहे मेरी बहन, और आप माफी भी नहीं मांग रहे। ये होता है, गलती बोलने के बाद भी माफी मांगने को होता है।
Did you pick up how he responded to the lady? Very rude. He wants her to apologize for bringing her concerns and stating that in the society, Islamic society that she lives, where man goes to mosque, women are not allowed to leave their houses, there is an addiction for alcohol, there is adultery, zina is taking place, and there is pedophilia is increasing. Those are her concerns, and then she's asking, okay, this is gonna cause collapse of the religion, this is not good for the society. And Zakir Naik wants her to apologize. And this is the same Zakir Naik who said,
the man is 112 years old. No, he wants to marry a 13-year-old girl who has reached puberty. What is your problem?
In one side, he's quite okay for adult man to have sex with a child because man is the one who is asking the question. But when the woman brings up the concerns, oh no, it's not okay. Doesn't matter what he says. It is absolutely wrong for adult man to have sexual desires for a child. It is absolutely wrong for adult to try to practice his sexual desires on a child. Children are belong to schools. They are not belong to the bed of 112 years old man. They are not belong to bed of 54 years old man. They are not belong to bed of 20 years old man. Well, with such a teachings as Zakir Naik teaches to these huge groups, one group will go home and practice it. Keep your kids away from people who think those teachings are okay. It is your job to keep your child safe. Don't be like a father, similar to Zakir Naik, who is willing to give his daughter to 112 years old man. Don't do that. Your kids are not sex tools. Those individuals who have sexual desires towards your child needs to be in jail. Call 999. Call child protection and give a call to Israel to deal with those people. Page them or something. Zakir Naik is simply encouraging adults to harm children. Why? Because his prophet did it. Because his God ordered for man to do it. Therefore, he's just being faithful Muslim and sharing the teachings of Islam without thinking the harm that will be caused to the child. The reality is, Jesus has very harsh words towards those who harmed children. It is better for them to have millstone on their neck and get into the depths of the sea. Keep away from Islam. Keep away from, in this occasion, from Muslims. And if you know any of those individuals who attended these conferences, make sure you keep your kids away from them. Because the things they learn, things they want to practice, will put your child into harm. It is your job as a parent to protect your child.